Hello everyone, my name is Marvin Lewis, and today I'll be going over the Kali Linux tool Cool, which is of course spelled kind of weird, but it is pronounced Cool, which even the author made note of it on his personal website. So just thought that was kind of funny that people actually had a problem with how he pronounced it. Anyways, let's carry on. Alright, so what is Cool? Well, Cool is a Ruby app developed by Robin Wood. It's designed as a spider app that basically works much like how Google, spiders across the internet and gathers information on each website that it goes to, working with the metadata that's in each website. But unlike how Google does things, Cool does things in a little bit of a different manner. For one, it's a URL that you specify. It creates a word list from that site, and then it returns those words to either a file that you tell it to or onto the screen of your machine. It can also process metadata and email addresses, which makes it extremely useful in our use case. So why did I choose Cool? Well, it's fun. Who doesn't like seeing lots of data being poured out on your screen? I know I'm one of them. It's also great for reconnaissance. So CyberSec needs word lists too, and email addresses, and anything else that we can also get our hands on, because the more data, the better. So with this tool, it actually allows you to get the words, it allows you to get email addresses, and it allows you to find information that's put into metadata that people wouldn't normally see otherwise. Also, it's going to give you lots of data in a very short amount of time. It can span any URL in a fairly quick manner and allows you to get results fairly quickly, unlike a lot of other tools out there that take lots of time. They have a steep learning curve, so you have to spend hours and hours and hours on it. But this one, it's pretty quick and easy to get up and running, and with little fuss or muss. That really helps with things, and I wish a lot more of the applications in Kali Linux were a little bit easier to use, but sometimes there's not that case. So how do you use Cool? Well, you have to use the command line. There's no way of getting around that one for this one. I know some of the apps actually, have like a graphical user interface, but this one does not, and it really isn't needed. So as you can see in the highlighted sections here, this is the command. So Cool, and then -D, which stands for the depth of the site that you want to crawl. So if you want to go 2 pages in, then it will go 2 pages in. If you want to go more, you can specify more, but with that, you will have problems with it taking longer. So the more it goes down the rabbit hole, the longer it takes, of course. -M stands for the minimum number of characters that it's supposed to look for. So if you have like a four character word, it's going to omit that from the word list that it would create. Then you have the -W, which will tell it to write to a specified file that you want. It can be displayed on the screen here, docswords.txt, or you can tell it something else, and I'll show you how that works in a little bit. Then after that, you tell it the web address that it needs to go to. So it can be google.com or whatever you want it to be. And so it will then go and start working on creating the word lists for you. And if you get lost with it, you can also go to or type in cool-h and it'll pull up all the documentation that the creator or author decided to add in there. So what are the use cases? Well, the use cases are pretty good for this one. So it can help with password banning. So a lot of times we have passwords that aren't supposed to be used at different companies, and so by having the top words on the website restricted as from being used on your user machines, then it allows for us to keep better control over what kind of passwords might be cracked in the future. It also can help with limiting points of contact. So as you'll see here in a little bit, you will see why this is such a big thing. But it will restrict, by restricting this with emails in particular, it can really limit the amount of people that might have a outward-facing email address. And so, therefore, there's not as many email addresses that might get a attack through an email address. And then last of all is metadata cleaning. So sometimes web developers, they use some unsavory practices that can leak information that shouldn't be shown to the outside world and should be meant for in-house. And so with that, you can point out things that an attacker might be able to take and use as an attack vector on your site. So that definitely is one of the bigger things should be noted when using this tool. So I'm going to close out my little slide presentation here, and we're going to play with CeWL now. Alrighty, so we're going to open up the terminal. And so we'll just do the same thing that we had before. So CeWL, and then -D, and then we're going to say 2 pages in. And then we're going to do -M, and we're going to set it to 5 characters or more. And then we're going to do -W, and we're going to say birds.txt. And then we're going to go to the ACC website just for a test. And so what this is going to do is it's going to start running, and it'll take a little bit of time. So while this runs, I'm going to pause the video. Alrighty, so it looks like it has finished. So now what we can do is we can do a cat command to see the contents of the file. And look at that, it found lots and lots and lots of different words. So all of these could be put into a Word file or a text file that then can be used by a password cracker, dictionary attack system to then, try and work on different accounts. Now, because of this, there is also the option of doing it with a count. So we'll do that one next. Oh, I put it in the wrong place. So 1 second here. There we go. So I'm going to pause the video again, and then you can see the output from that one. All right, so it looks like it finished up. And so now we'll take a look at the actual contents of the words.txt file in Vim. And as you can see, there are quite a few words that have lots of information in them, or lots of uses. So as you can see, college is number 1 on ACC's website, community comes in second, and you get the gist. So that's quite a lot of words that could be used for passwords by some people. Alright, so next we're going to do another one that actually I already have prepared. So this one is actually going to get emails. So by using the -E argument, and then the argument to create a file, and then we're going to tell it the file name as emails.txt. And also, to prevent an error with the one that we created just a moment ago, I'm going to add a 1, so that way the other words file doesn't get written over. So let's give this a go. All right, so it's running, and when I come back, we'll go over the contents of this file too. Okay, so the command has finished running, and now we can see all the files that we have for it. So let's do a quick ls, and as you can see, we have the emails.txt and the words1.txt files. So we can do a vim on that. So that way you can see the new one. So as you can see, there are emails present on our school's website that probably could do with being removed or not using what looks like phone numbers, things like that, because they're probably not relevant, and or they probably shouldn't be used on a website that is facing the public so much. And so some of the things that could be done is to remove them from the website and leave something where a person that is interested can leave their email address, and then someone contacts them afterwards. And then let's go ahead and quit this one. Now, I didn't put the count on the other one, so we can look at that one too. But it still has the count from earlier, so oh wait a minute, this is the wrong one. So this one I took the count off, so it didn't actually do any counting on this one. So but as you can see, that's how it looks normally. So that is pretty much the end of my presentation, but as you can see, there are more options on there in order to do things like gathering metadata. You can actually set up a lot of different options for that. So if you dare try, go right ahead. I just didn't, because I wanted to show everybody the power in the few commands that I saw were worth sharing with everyone. With that, I thank you all for listening to my presentation and watching my video, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you, Professor.